A weather impact alert for the snow that is on the way. It is certainly going to be a widespread impact for most of the Mid-South and most of the South, in fact, even into the Northeast. This whole winter storm is rolling through, and right now temperatures are well below freezing, so that's good news. The cold air has started to pour in from the northeast thanks to the high to our north, so it's bringing in the very cold air. But once we start to get this system moving in, that's when the mid-levels are going to start to creep up above freezing. Interestingly, we're probably not going to get much higher than this here in Memphis over the next couple of days. The lows are actually going to be in the teens tonight, but Batesville right now at 30, Oxford at 30, so you're just below that freezing mark. Of course, Desmond Nugent was saying that he's already starting to see a little bit of snow or sleet falling down in that area. It's very likely already started for them. So we see across the area, most of our temperatures are in the 20s, but a slight bit of a warming trend as you go farther south and a little bit more towards the east. Also, just as Ezekiel Telmaco was reporting up towards Dyersburg, it is pretty windy, so the wind chill is down to around 2 in Dyersburg. So certainly cold. This is where, if you are going to be out for several hours working on getting the power restored, make sure you are bundled up. And if you don't have to be out in this cold, stay inside, as that's going to be pretty dangerous. So looking at the wind chill over the next couple of days, we're going to be in the single digits for most of us. We could get into the double digits, but it could be double digits below zero even by Tuesday. So we stay in the single digits above zero through the weekend at least. So that's good enough at least. But as we get into Monday morning, we're below zero around the area. Then Tuesday morning, we could be 15 degrees below zero for that wind chill. The actual air temperature could be close to zero. We might see some sub-zero temperatures to our north, but it is certainly warranting this cold weather advisory that's around our area. We also have a cold weather watch going a little farther, but at least through 6 p.m. Sunday, the advisory is in place for those temperatures in the teens, and then those wind chills down below teens. So we're looking at the 4 Ps of winter. Of course, plants, they're already all dead at this point, but make sure you're bringing your pets inside. If they've got an outdoor shelter built for them that is sealed and insulated and heated, that's okay. But otherwise, if it's open to the elements at all, they really need to be inside with you, your people, checking on your neighbors, checking on your friends and family, making sure that their power is good. If it's gone out, if it's safe to transport them, maybe get them into your house. And of course, the pipes, making sure you're dripping your faucets over the next couple of nights, because it is, or really through the day even as well, it is going to be that cold that we could see some pipes beginning to freeze around the Mid-South. Take a look at satellite and radar right now. Of course, the clouds are moving in. The heavy snow is back towards Oklahoma right now, but it's just starting to creep into the Mid-South. Interestingly, south of I-40, where we're expecting more ice in the later part of the event. Like I said, we've already pulled in the cold air, but we're about to start pulling in the warm air about a mile off the surface. Clarksdale, we've had a bit of a gap in the radar, so everything's starting to clear up for you right now. Had some reports there as well as into Cleveland, just south of our area. Helena, West Helena, starting to see a little bit of that snowfall in that area. Mariana, Forest City, up towards parts of the Wynn area, probably seeing some snowflakes just getting started this hour. The dew point is something we keep our eye on at this point, as well as the humidity. This is the relative humidity showing that it's still very dry here in Memphis, but Tunica, it's starting to creep up out towards Stuttgart. We've already started to see some snow there. You can just see by the colors the humidity is starting to increase. That's where we're starting to see that snow developing. As we get past midnight, temperatures are going to be dropping into the teens to the north, and we'll see that snow beginning here in the Memphis area. But you already noticed to the south that pink color, that's the ice starting to mix in. That's likely where we're starting to see that warm air intruding. That warm air in the mid-levels will start to creep a little farther to the north by around 8 a.m. That's probably when we'll start to transition to sleet here in the Memphis area. There's no split between sleet or freezing rain on this model, but it still shows that we've got that warm air starting to intrude in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. So we could start to see some freezing rain, maybe down towards the Oxford area by this time, especially with the surface temperatures getting closer to that freezing mark of 32. That's probably because we've got the actual water, the rain, releasing its heat and turning into ice. So that actually warms up the surface as freezing rain happens. So that's probably what we see there around 1 o'clock there in Oxford tomorrow afternoon. Here in Memphis, it's still cold enough that we'll likely only be seeing sleet. But that sleet could actually make its way up towards Dyersburg even as we go through tomorrow afternoon. Again, Corinth, Oxford, we've got that temperature near the freezing mark into Holly Springs, even up to Memphis, the upper 20s. We could be looking at some freezing rain tomorrow evening around 9 o'clock. Fortunately, we already have some sleet on the ground and some snowpack, so hopefully it can absorb into that. Any freshly cleared roads, though, those are going to be turning into an ice rink. It could even get warm enough to just transition over to fully rain in Corinth and Oxford. Holly Springs, that would likely be freezing rain just right there at the freezing mark, just on and off. But I think we'll stay below the freezing mark here in Memphis, and we'll keep up with that sort of battle between sleet and freezing rain as we head through our Sunday. By 9 a.m., everything's starting to wrap up around the area. We might still see some snow wrapping back around, but really once we switch to a northwest wind, that tends to bring in dry air and clears us out. So here's a look at the snow and sleet totals. They don't measure them separately, they measure them together. I think we'll probably see around 3 to 5 inches here in Memphis. Up towards Blytheville, Truman, up towards Dyersburg, 4 to 7 inches is possible. And that is also going to be a mix. We'll probably get just enough warm air that far north. The Corinth area, Oxford, probably not going to get much snow. What we see tonight will probably be the only snow we get, and then everything switches over to ice. This is what's going to be the major impact. Probably the biggest impact across the Mid-South is going to be Corinth to Ripley, Holly Springs, Oxford, Senatobia, Clarksdale, Tunica, everywhere in between. We're probably going to be seeing some major impacts from the ice because that is going to weigh down power lines. With the wind that we've been already feeling, that can sort of make the power lines gallop, and that can start to lead to some flickering of lights, if not total power loss. Here's your 7-day forecast. Those temperatures are continuing to go down as we head into early next week. The winter storm is done here after Sunday, but the winter weather doesn't actually end because the cold air comes in there early Tuesday morning. We could be seeing some sub-zero temperatures to our north, maybe right there at zero here in Memphis on Tuesday morning. Then we start to warm up, technically speaking, but we might not even get above the freezing mark in many areas of the Mid-South next week. So this ice is not going anywhere for a while.